will be awesome. So then we'll be able to pass that on to people who might find this helpful. All right, we are going to talk tonight about 7 fat shredding solutions. We want to teach you how to better take care of some of that, maybe that stubborn fat that you're just trying to lose. Maybe it's just getting started kind of a thing, and you really would love to take care of that. Or maybe it's that like last 10 to 15, you're just like, I wish I could just tighten it up and feel healthier and all that. So understanding that what we're really trying to do here, guys, is we're trying to equip you well to be able to live a life with energy now and also with longevity for the long haul. And we think that that a healthy lifestyle set up earlier in life then will benefit you later in life. And so whether you're a young spring chicken in your 60s or 70s, and you've got maybe 20 more years on you, 30 more years on you, you want to make those still good quality years. Or maybe you're an old soul in 22, 23, and you're trying to make progress with your health and fitness goals. That it's the same situation, but you'll have longer to live healthier. And what's better to invest in, and especially appreciate you investing your time right now to invest in than invest in your health. And what greater dividends can you get as you live with quality of living and healthy living moving forward. So I want to talk to you a little bit about who we are, assuming everybody can see my screen. Can you all quickly shout that out in the chat? Make sure everybody can see my screen. Can you see my 7 fat shredding solutions slide? Yep. Okay, great. Just want to make sure we've got that. Awesome. So who are we? Who is this group of people that's been putting on this Pirate Challenge? And you might kind of know that are in multiple challenges. We've actually got lots going on, going across the nation. We've got several of these groups going on, which is really pretty cool. And so we are a team of what we're called Beachbody coaches, and we're called the Go Team. The Go Team is just started here in February. I helped found it, and I have many coaches that are part of our team. Somewhere around 50 to 60 coaches that are involved in the Go Team. And we are out to really help, like I said, provide quality of life for people and to help them reach their health and fitness goals. And if what we can offer here tonight is of value to you, we just want to offer that as our gift to you today. I want to tell you a little bit about my story. This is me when I had hair, which is pretty incredible. So you may not know that from the captain. You would see my hat was covering up things. But I don't have any hair. But back when I did have some hair, this is a picture of me and my dad. And you can see he has very similar hairstylings as I do, which is great. But my dad, I love this guy. This guy was amazing, probably one of the most patient, most kind people I've ever met. And he was just so formative in my life, as most dads are. For their kids, but he formed me in such a way to really know what it meant to be patient with people and help them make progress with whatever they're trying to make progress with. And so I learned so much from him. But here's the tragedy. My dad, because of some poor choices in his life, ended up cutting his life short because of type 2 diabetes. Now, my dad got type 2 diabetes back when he was about 35 years old. And he, this is kind of a family trait sort of a deal, because my grandfather also passed away from his battle with type 2 diabetes as well. A little bit different manifestation of it, but he also passed away from it, from complications. And so my dad, 35, got type 2 diabetes and began taking insulin shots. And so for the time that I knew him, for about that 30 plus years of living with type 2 diabetes, taking his shots, it just got progressively worse because he didn't manage it very well. And if we know that there's a couple of ways that we generally manage diabetes, and one way is to manage it with your nutrition particularly, and another way to manage it is with exercise. And guess what? My dad really didn't do either. And so it ultimately caused him, if you know what happens with diabetes, sometimes he began to lose some of his vision. So they had to use laser surgery to kind of the capillaries increased in his the back of his retina, and they have to kind of laser those down so he could see. Extremity circulation problems in his feet. He ended up losing a couple toes. Eventually, ended up losing his whole leg up to, just above his knee. due to poor circulation. And it was just no joke. And the sad part is that it was preventable, because when he did, especially when he had that real strong wake-up call with losing a couple toes, he probably could have made some better choices. And though I love my dad, he was stubborn, man. And so ended up getting, so he ended up passing away way too early. And so his grandkids, my kids, sort of got to know him. But even in those last probably 10 years of his life, because of strokes that were, so it wasn't just his physical health, it was also his mental health, because strokes were affecting his brain, and he would have these mini strokes often. And so my dad was like sort of there, particularly the last like 3 or 4 years. It was like, sometimes it'd be a really great day, and it'd be like, he'd be there like normal when I had him when I was young. But then a lot of times it was just really slow reaction times, really kind of like not quite listening and things like that. So that made me sad. So my story then intersects with his story, is then back at, so this is back in 2008 when he passed away. And about 2010, I had that reality wake-up call when I entered the dressing room at a place called Plato's Closet. It's a, you guys, maybe some of you have Plato's Closets in your town. In Plato's Closet, basically a consignment shop for clothing. And I was trying to look all hipster and cool, and my daughters were there, and I'm trying on shirts and things. So I go in the dressing room, and I wanted to try out a pretty trendy, cool shirt. I was like, hey, I'm gonna try this on. So I go into the dressing room, and I get in, and I, of course, everybody does this. You have that moment of, okay, let's just, there's a mirror there. I should check things out, see how I'm doing. So take off the shirt, and I do the kind of check out. And what I realized at that moment was that I was my dad. I was my dad. I was heading down that road towards pre-diabetes, and then eventually probably going to end up in diabetes land. And I had to make a change. I saw the visual that inspired me to make the change, because I didn't want to do it. It wasn't just about looking good. I knew that what I was going to potentially put my wife through, because I saw what it did to my mom taking care of my dad, I wasn't going to do the same thing and let my wife go through the same, taking care of sores and dealing with doctor's bills and visits and all this craziness. So I wanted to change. And so I changed my story. So so it's here in my phase where I was sort of at my worst at 168 for the highest weight ever, about 23% body fat. And here's the thing. You look at that picture from some people would say, well, that's not too bad. You're not too bad. But here's the thing. I was technically inside, I was what was called skinny fat. So I'm not naturally a big guy, and I didn't like blow up necessarily, but I carried a lot of my weight in my stomach, which is particularly what happens with type 2 diabetics. And I was heading that route. So with the help of a coach, with the help of some good nutrition, I ended up telling the story on the right-hand side of your picture, where I lost about 20 pounds, and I lost quite a bit of body fat. As you can see, lost about 13% of my body fat. And I'm actually doing even better than that now. But so the story is that you can change. You can make a difference in shredding the body fat, and not just because you want to look ripped, and not because here, I'm just going to be truthful. I'm 44 years old. It's nice to look good, but really it's not my main priority at more, because the only one person I need to really look good for is my wife, and maybe to inspire a few other people potentially. But really that's my priority. So I want to be healthy, and I want to be functionally fit. And so that's what I'm out to do and help others. And many of the coaches who are part of our team are doing the same thing. They're trying to help others be healthy and fit. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit now tonight based on that story, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some specific 7 fat shredding solutions that will help you to shred off some of that body fat. And we're going to keep moving right through this so we have enough time, and we have some time for questions maybe at the end. So it's going to last probably about another 30 minutes, and we'll be able to rock this through. Okay, so here we go. Number 1. Eat more lean protein. Now, here's the thing. I want you to realize that a lot of people kind of go, well, I eat some chicken. I'll eat some fish. Occasionally I eat some eggs or whatever. But then, like, we'll tend to eat maybe way too much on the burger world, and we hang out and like a double Whopper with cheese and craziness like that. So we've got to make sure it's good and lean protein. You've got some of your beans in there as well, and peanuts and things like that. We'll give you some protein sources. So what we're really looking to do is keep it lean, and then also not only keeping it lean, but keeping it in how much you are getting. And most people, most Americans particularly, don't get enough protein in their diets in order to lose body fat. And that particularly is because what we need to have is building blocks for our muscle, particularly as we exercise. So we do things like the plank challenge. We need to recover, and we need building blocks for muscle building. And when we become more muscular, we become fat burning machines, because the more muscle we have, the more we're going to burn fat. So in order to calculate the amount of protein that you use or that you need, most people are kind of confused at that. What does that really mean? We're going to help you with this real quickly. There is if you go on, the Kashi, the brand Kashi, okay? There is a specific website that they've set up, and it's very simple to find. Proteinsmart.kashi.com. There's www. You can click that in there, and that will give you a specific calorie protein grams calculation. So you'll know how much protein you need to be getting on a regular basis, and that will help you then make sure you're getting that in order to have your muscles have those building blocks to build more muscle as you do your workouts. And speaking of workouts, strength workouts, number 2, are very, very important. So you can cardio yourself to death, and particularly slow cardio. We're going to talk about that in a minute, about how slow cardio really is not a fat shredding tool. In a minute, we'll talk about that. So strength workouts are so critical. Resistance workouts, where you're actually putting your muscles time under tension. So you've got some tension, you're lifting, you're pushing, you're pulling. So that's the push-ups, the planks, holding those things in order to build muscles, because what you're doing is you're going to tear down muscle tissue as you do strength workouts. And you even do this in cardio workouts, but there's more tear that happens when you're doing strength workouts. So you're tearing muscle apart. You add good lean protein, amino acids, to put into your muscles, which will actually reconstruct them. Your body will reconstruct them with proper fueling. We'll talk about carbs in a minute, because not all carbs are bad. And then you have the fuel to be able to rebuild those muscles. Building more muscle, again, builds more fat burning, because more muscle you have, the more you're going to actually burn fat, because you need calories to keep your muscles rolling, okay? And that's really good. So strength workouts, lots of different options there. We are going to, there is playlists that we have available. If you are interested in doing more strength workouts, please contact one of your coaches. We have some free offerings. We also have some other offerings potentially through Beachbody that could help you. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end as well. Number 3, you need to cut processed simple carbs. You can take a look at this whole table, I guess, full of happiness. And most of it's canned or boxed or bagged in some form of a way, and that preserves it, right? So you've got everything from ultimate fudge truffle cakes to, you've got canned pineapples and peaches with a lot of very, very sweet syrups that kind of go in that. You got some of your pastas and macaroni and cheese. You got all ramen noodles. Sorry, folks, hate to tell you, I know they're cheap, but the top ramen is not top for your body. Just being real with that, okay? So as you are kind of working to clean out your pantry and to try to help you make more progress towards your health and fitness goals, you're going to need to replace these things with healthier, real foods, okay? So let's take a look at that also. Of course, excess sugar is important, that you want to be cutting that out of your diet, because ultimately what happens as sugar is retained in your body, it converts to fat, unused, and provides some insulin spikes. We'll talk about that here right now. So as you intake sugar, okay, so this is the basic metabolic process that's happening, and I'm going to really simplify it here. So excuse me if there's a nutritionist out there and you're like going to go, but wait a minute, you're not saying, okay, it's basically this. Intake sugar signals body to produce more insulin. As you produce more insulin, it's going to burn up that sugar pretty quickly, especially if it's that fast burning or fast, like white sugar. So when you got white bread, white rice, white pasta, that stuff really spikes your blood sugar level really, really quickly. And we'll see that in this next picture, okay? So you spike your blood sugar level, And then what happens is immediately following that meal, or whatever you do, let's say you eat a candy bar or whatever, then you're going to have those cravings that kick in super duper duper high because you've got all this insulin that gets produced by your body, and it's waiting, and what it does is it like overproduces because it's like that's the spike of sugar into your system. So you produce more insulin. And then we all know this. So you eat Chinese food, you eat white rice, right? What usually happens? It's like, man, I don't know why I always feel so hungry after I eat Chinese food. This is exactly why, because we generally eat a lot of white rice with Chinese food. So when you get done with that, bam, your blood sugar takes a big old tank, and you've got all this insulin sitting in your system saying, hey, I need to process more sugar. Hungry, cravings, got to have something. Oh, maybe I'll just grab a candy bar after my Chinese food. So you see what happens is you're actually really hurting your body by eating the things that maybe you would go, oh, well, that isn't so bad. It's just rice, or it's just pasta. It's not a candy bar. It's not a bag of chips or whatever. But those quicker carbs, like even white potatoes, like regular old potatoes, same kind of thing. And you have that blood sugar spike, and then you end up craving, and then you gorge later. Bad news. You're going to add more fat to your body. Okay. Number 4, HIIT workouts. So high intensity interval training. High intensity interval training is a fat burning process awesomeness. Okay. And what this does is when you get your heart rate up for a period and then you have it relax. Okay. So it's interval training. So you might run fast for 30 seconds and then do maybe a minute 30 recovery at maybe a 70% rate. And you do that several times. That is a better process of doing that 30 seconds on, a minute 30 rest, than going for 2 minutes, what I call low and slow. Just kind of jogging along, okay? If you're going to do running if that's your choice, or if you're going to bike, stationary bike, whatever you're going to do. You're going to want to put more towards HIIT style, high intensity interval training. And let's talk about what that specifically does for your body. It gives what is called the EPOC effect, or kicks in what's called the EPOC effect. Excessive post-workout oxygen consumption. And what this is effectively your body is working really hard, and then after the workout and you're done with this workout, it is wanting to still process more blood sugar, and give you more oxygen to your muscles following that workout for about 7 to 10 hours, depending on how hard you worked. It can then burn fat and not burn muscle during that next period. Because if you do aerobic style where it's kind of consistent, you sometimes, if you don't eat properly, you don't eat enough protein, you're going to end up burning more muscle than you'll actually burn fat. And we don't want your body going what's called catabolic on us, which then your body starts processing its own muscle to give you energy. So we want it to be burning more fat. So you're going to increase your metabolism all day long. And plus, you're going to feel really fantastic because it kicks in those great things called endorphins. And endorphins, when you get done with your workout and it's a really good energy-filled workout, you might think you're like really tired after it. Then what happens? Those positive endorphins, like dopamine kicks in, and you're like, oh, I feel good. And we want that kind of a good addiction. So you may wonder about some people who are like, man, you're just a crazy workout addict. How do you do that? What's the deal? It's probably because they're doing some form of where they're getting this HIIT effect into their body, and they're getting those good hormones to kick into their blood system. And then that's the positive effect. It's kind of the runner's high. So when runners go long term and they go long, they'll sort of kick that in, those 7 to 8 mile plus runners. That's when those kind of good endorphins kick in. And so understanding that that's a kind of a good addiction. I'm not a downer completely on running, but I am a fan more of HIIT style workouts than I am actually of running for this particular purpose of shredding fat. Okay, that's that. Guess what, guys? We need more sleep. And most of us tend to get somewhere, and the average American, somewhere between 5 and 6 hours of sleep. That's not enough. And I admit, I am the first to say that I probably don't get enough sleep either. But particularly when we're trying to lose fat, and if you are maybe at a plateau and you're stuck, sleep is a good thing to consider getting towards. Now, I wouldn't say you need to magically then, like, okay, I'm doing 5.5 hours. Suddenly I'm going to sleep 7 hours. Your body clock's not going to adjust that way. 15 minutes, maybe just set your clock or say, you know what, I'm going to go to bed 15 minutes earlier than I've ever done. 15 minutes earlier. And I'm going to make sure I'm in bed by whatever time period that needs to be for you. So, and then 15 minutes, and then you can maybe a week later, you could consider adding another 15 minutes to maybe get you another half hour. And over a period of time, you can start to adjust your body towards getting that time. If you are struggling with that, and I know there aren't enough hours in the day, I know there aren't, but this is a priority, and this is a priority to you, a little bit more sleep will ultimately fuel the rest of your day, and you'll be more effective in doing not only your workouts and things like that, but also your work, your general being with your family. You'll be more present because you won't be sort of in this fog, and you won't be like the caffeinated system where you're just popping down coffee in order to stay awake. Okay? So I hope that helps. A little bit more sleep would be helpful. Number 6, drink more water. And water is basically the body's makeup. You know, our bodies are, it's like, what is it, 80% water, I think we are made up of. And so if we are to be able to keep our bodies properly, for lack of a better word, lubricated, okay, in order to, particularly when you're doing workouts, you want to be able to provide muscle recovery for yourself, and water helps and aids in that. It also flushes out toxins for you. It also really helps as you're feeling hungry, and it'll fill you up more. I just posted this in one of my groups recently, was just that sometimes our bodies confuse the idea of being thirsty with the idea of being hungry with the idea of being thirsty. They sometimes go hand in hand. So we're sort of hungry, and then we're dehydrated, and then we end up reaching for food instead of reaching for liquids or water or things like that. So drinking more water, minimally 64 ounces for your consumption each day. And that is for living. If you are exercising, and particularly with certain degree of intensity, you're going to need, okay, so I was frozen. Sorry, guys. Thank you. So you can drink more water, but at least, kind of a guide rule is about half your body weight in ounces is sort of a guide rule. And that will help you, but minimally 64, if not more than that, that will really help your body work properly and engage. Okay. Number 7, this is it. Getting 30 micronutrients daily. Okay. So studies have shown it's anywhere between 28 and 30, depends on which study you look at. There's micronutrients that our bodies need, okay? And as we consume micronutrients, it satisfies our body, and then our body doesn't crave the bad stuff, okay? So what happens when we don't satisfy all those micronutrients in our bodies, that's where our bodies just keep wanting to consume more in order to get it, and they're actually just they're getting the wrong things. So it's actually not really satisfying the body at the deep molecular level, and so you end up just eating more instead of eating right. If you can kind of understand that, you eat more instead of eating right, and we want you eating right. Okay, so here's very, very quickly. Although micronutrients are needed only in small amounts, their deficiency leads to critical health problems. Many of the diseases and conditions that people face are often due to a deficiency in micronutrients, okay? And so, and this is like a particular study, and you can see it's a labor, if you can see that last one, the World Health Organization says that we ensure elimination of micronutrient deficiency, labor efficiency, which means our work, okay, will increase multifold. Our effectiveness in what we do each day will increase. List of micronutrients, you can kind of see them here. These are the basics, okay? And as you understand that there are ways, if you could say, okay, I'm going to just take a multivitamin, I'll get all set. Truth being told, and you probably understand this, is many of the multivitamins that are out there are pretty much rocks that go into your belly and you pass them out in your stool. It's sort of what happens because your body's not able to really absorb those. And we are out to make sure that people get the proper nutrients that they need, okay? And here's what it looks. So I'd ask you this. If you struggle, do you sometimes struggle with food cravings? Do you sometimes have a mental fog, maybe about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you just got that mental fog where it's just like, oh, I can't get through this. Or maybe sometimes you just get irritable and it's like, I get so frustrated with that computer, I'm going to smash it, or, or frustrated with people, and maybe you're sluggish with energy. Maybe you're just kind of lacking in that. You wake up and you're not fully rested. You go through your day and you just, man, I wish I had more energy. Particularly if you're working out. Let's take a look at this next slide. And I think this is a really a critical one. When I saw it, this particular slide amazed me, and it rang so true with my experience. So here's the deal. When we go on a quote unquote diet, okay, and so what we want to try to encourage you all to experience is not a diet. We are not dieters. We live according to our goals. We eat according to our goals. So we become people of a lifestyle of health and fitness versus I'm going to go on a diet, because that assumes that you're going to probably go off the diet, okay, at some point. I am long-term on eating healthy and making sure that I'm making good choices for my body, okay? But this is typically what happens in a diet. When you start your diet and you reduce your calories, you can see at the top there, reduce calories and you add exercise. Then somewhere about day 10 through 14, we become nutrient deficient, okay? We become nutrient deficient at that point. Micronutrients are drained out of our system because we're eating less and we're adding that exercise, so we're taxing our bodies more. We become nutrient deficient. And what happens at that point? For most people, when they quit, now some people quit out of the gate. They'll do 2 days of exercise, I'm done with it. There's New Year's resolution. They don't make it through the first week. But most people give it a good go. And they'll go for about 10 to 14 days through this, okay? And about that day 10 through 14, somewhere in there, they start to break down. And then that's where temptation gives in, frustration happens, and then you give in because your energy level is so low, I just got to have something. And so you start, quote unquote, cheating on your diet, right? You cheat on your diet. And then what happens? You feel bad, so you're like, I'm not going to really I'll exercise a little bit more, and still feeling tired. So you eat more, you cheat a little bit more, you feel guilty. So you quit the whole thing. 2 months, 3 months later, or the next year, you start your diet again because you didn't make any progress, okay? And so what we want you to realize, particularly, there was a study that was done, and so this is one of the studies that says there's 27 essential micronutrients. We've seen anywhere between 27 and 30. So nutrient deficient is not a made-up term. It's found that 100% sufficiency of your diet, getting all those micronutrients, for all 27 in this case, essential micronutrients, only happened when daily caloric intake requirement averaged, check this, 27,575 calories. Got that again? Completely satisfied, the studies show that 27,000 calories, 27.5 calories was what it took to actually get all the micronutrients that you need. So this extreme, caloric intake, obviously, in the opinion of this researcher, impossible. Obviously, 27,000 calories each day would be like, good Lord. You're talking, an average consumption is around 2,000 maybe. So that's like 10 times plus, okay? So diet plans, now check this out. So, and I'm not bashing the idea of whole foods, because I love whole foods, and I totally agree with this. So diet plans using whole foods alone, on average, this is what this researchers showed, deficient by about deficient in 56% of the micronutrients needed. Okay, so and what tends to happen is because we're buying fresh food and all that, is to keep that up long term over the weeks, we have to deal with it. First of all, expense, and also freshness. Because to get all that fresh and keep it fresh and make sure you're doing it, obviously it costs a lot more money to do that. So even people who eat 5 daily servings of fruits and vegetables may not get enough certain vitamins for optimal health, okay? And so here's the deal. Micronutrient deficiency has been shown to cause an 80% increase in likelihood of becoming overweight or obese. This is our concern. This is our concern. And so as Beachbody coaches, we all of us we enjoy a particular product that we use, and I'm just present this to you as a potential option. And please understand that there's not at all any type of coercion here, and we're not at the end of this thing like, hey, you can buy this we're just laying this out for you as a potential option for maybe some of you who are genuinely struggling. And it's a thing called Shakeology. Take a look here. So Shakeology is a once a day meal replacement shake. It's not a diet shake. It's not a protein shake. It is an absolutely whole foods rich, packed, what we call it, a daily dose of dense nutrition. Okay. And what you get from Shakeology is you're getting 6 key nutrient groups. You get your pre and probiotics, which are in digestive enzymes, which helps your digestion. Protein and amino acids help the rebuilding of your muscle. 24 vitamins and minerals, which, many products do have those. Red and blue superfoods, which are antioxidants, that helps quite a deal with your cravings. Green superfoods and phytonutrients, which really helps with your keeping your immune system set. And adaptogen herbs, also immune booster, and as they've proven to fight a lot of diseases. Some studies show, and we can't say this verified absolutely, the adaptogens do this, but fighting cancer and things like that. So anyway, that's a really, really great set of tools within those 6 nutrient groups you're getting in Shakeology on a regular basis. Okay, so just saying this, you can take a look at this list. I'll highlight a few. If you've ever been kind of frustrated with weight, you've plateaued, you want to try something different. You've been working out many hours a week and you're not seeing results. Your energy is low. You're not really motivated, and you want to make an improvement on your nutrition, but you don't really know where to start, and you want to feel confident again. We have something that we would like to have, to present to you ultimately as a solution for that. That's our job. And maybe you've tried things like a personal trainer, for $50 to $95 an hour. And, maybe like 2 or 3 sessions of that's already got you up over $200 potentially. A nutritionist for $30 an hour, and maybe help you with the food plan that day. But sometimes it's really difficult to then actually have the accountability to execute that plan. Boot camps for 5 days can run up to to a couple $100. Join a gym, anywhere between 120, but not with a whole lot of help necessarily. Weight Watchers. So different options that you maybe have tried but maybe haven't worked. So here's the question I would ask you. What will it cost if you don't change? Now, remind you back to my dad's story real fast here. Remember what happened when he decided to not to change? Life went in a bad direction. And as I've been working with people over the years here now, usually change is either forced or chosen. So you force change by a health crisis, or you have a heart attack, or you have a mild stroke, or something happens, and then you're forced to change. I chose to change before that happened. And I really do, if you are struggling with this and you need a change, what does that cost if you don't? Your health. There's financial change, certainly, that you would move forward, and there might be doctor's bills and medical costs and medicine that you'd have to purchase. Emotionally, how are you going to feel when you're not able to do the things that you'd like to do? Maybe you can't pick up your kids as much, or your grandkids, or maybe you're not able to travel like you would like to. Physically, you're limited to doing those things as well. And socially, you're not able to interact with the people, or like I said, travel as much, maybe visit your kids, visit your grandkids, go on vacations and things like that, because you're in that situation where you're just not able to, okay? So I'm saying and telling you this, guys, no matter what you do, and if you choose to kind of help or go along with us, that's great. But I'm just encouraging you to do something different. If it's not working, do something different, and find something that works for you. But we want to invite you particularly to something, and it's very, very special, okay? And so what this is it is a challenge group. And what it is, it's based on, oops, I got a wrong date here, sorry guys. It's a challenge group that is called, based around a program that we offer. It's called the 21-Day Fix. The 21-Day Fix, as you can see here, offers some portion control using these portion size containers, okay? You have DVD workouts that you work out with at home. There's a portion where you actually use Shakeology for the fullness of that challenge, 21 days. Plus, you actually get a 30-day supply of that with that bag, so it's more than the 21 days. And we put that all together, and we add that together to a support group. So let's take a look at what this all looks like real fast here, okay? So what you get is when you join a challenge group with us, it's all online, okay? So it's done through Facebook, kind of like we do with the Pirate Challenge, but a little bit different because it's a little bit more personalized, and you get specific nutritional help with this. You get a personal coach for those 21 days. You get a 30-day supply of Shakeology. You get a simple nutrition plan using those food containers. Beachbody workout you do at home. You get workout buddies to do this with you, so you're not just alone in your house doing this. You actually do get people to do it with you, so you get the convenience of doing this with people around you, but not necessarily have to do it when they are doing it, which is great. Tons of support. You get a free t-shirt ultimately at the end of it if you win, or if you complete the program and send in your results. And then also cash prizes potentially. We've had people win up to $500,000 even for their transformations, which is pretty cool. Okay. If you're interested in signing up, we'd love to have you take a look at this. Let's go-fitness.com/21-day challenge is where we'd like to have you to sign up. Now, if you don't want to do that, and maybe you just want to kind of check things out with the person who is your coach, and you know who your coach is, you can certainly contact them first. That's fine. But if you don't really know who that is and you'd like to still like to find out some more information about this, we'll certainly direct you to the person who would be your coach, okay? But that's letsgo-fitness.com. There's a 21-day challenge. It's an application to fill out for that. We'd love to have you consider joining us. Now, here's the cool part is that first 3 to sign up get an extra free shaker cup, which would be fun. So if you are interested in doing this, get on the bandwagon and be one of the first to do it. That would be really, really great. So your coach will contact you and follow up with you within the next 24 to 48 hours. Sorry, once again, wrong date here. It starts on June 1st. So it's perfect timing right now. If you're interested in doing this, we can certainly supply that for you and get you rolling. Now, before we leave, I want to just tell you a couple success stories because Jeanette is my good friend. Jeanette is now, and this is an older picture. Now she is down a full 27 pounds, I believe. And now she's down 4 pant sizes. 4 pant sizes. She's lost a ton of great weight, and she is feeling stronger and better than ever. She's a children's pastor in a local church not too far from us, and she has made some great progress in her belief. She's honoring God with her body and using this, which I think is awesome, and that's how I feel as well with my belief. This is a story of Catherine, former student of mine. I used to be a teacher back in the day and had a couple kids. Check it out. She got some mom abs back, which is pretty cool. Maybe some of you are at that point. So you don't have to, you can be different levels of this, and you notice it. So Jeanette started in a place where it's like maybe she had a little bit more weight to potentially lose. And Catherine, maybe not as much, but yet still can tighten up and still can be the best version of her possible. And here's my wife's story a little bit. She was in great shape doing some good stuff. She lost in the 21 days, lost 10 pounds and 6.5 inches, which is pretty stinking incredible because we're like, let's try this program. It might help you. And she lost it exactly where she wanted to lose it. So that was really great. She lost it in her abdomen. She lost it in a little bit, just saying it, in her booty. She stole her booty, which is great. Okay. So once again, the reminder, you get that personal coach, you get 30 days Shakeology, simple nutrition plan, Beachbody workout you do at home, all this good stuff and more. And here it is. The cool part is the bonus that we said is the first 3 to sign up get a free Shakeology shaker cup. You also will get an exclusive recipe guide for joining the webinar. If you sign up, we'd love to have you to do that. And then you do get a bonus workout DVD by purchasing through a coach versus kind of going on to Amazon. Now, Amazon, and if you go to Beachbody, same kind of pricing will get you, and they'll assign you a random coach anyway. So we might as well do it with somebody, if you're interested in doing with somebody you know, okay? And just really quick clear, the normal pricing for bundling when you bundle Shakeology and 21-day fix together is over $200 would be that. Because you're getting 30 days of meals here. Let's face it, guys. You're getting 30 days worth of meals plus all these the portion control containers, plus all that stuff that you got. You can see in the picture. This is now bundle priced right now at a special price for this month at $160, and that includes that free shipping that comes along with it. Okay, so it's really a good deal, and you can get into that place where, and remember what we talked about, like you went back to our personal trainer, you know, you do that for a couple, 2-3 sessions, and then you're done with this. But here, you can keep this workout forever. Okay, and the cool part is you've got that to use for future. And I've had people go through several rounds of the 21-day fix. They made it the 42-day fix or the 63-day fix, and they've made great progress with it. Okay, and that is just a really great deal, and you can get that through your coach. If you have questions now, I'd love to answer those. Maybe you've got a couple questions. It doesn't have to specifically relate to the 21-day fix. Good. Thank you so much for doing that. Such a great webinar. Glad to be of help. If you have some questions, it doesn't have to be specifically about 21-day fix. It can be about anything regarding what we talked about with the fat shredding. Whatever you got, we'd love to answer those questions for you because we're just about done. Anybody got a question for us? One specific question that we get quite a bit is about timing of food. Does anyone, you can shout this out into the chat. What's kind of on average, how often should you be eating on a daily basis? How often should you be eating in order to keep your metabolism rolling? I'm going to play the Jeopardy music here. 5 meals a day. But how about the timing of that? Very good. What's the timing of that? Between the meals.
3 hours?
Yes, right around every 3 hours. Somebody muted it. Very good. So right around every 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay, that will keep your body's metabolism rolling. So you're not going into what we call starvation mode. Okay. So starvation mode is where your body then starts to metabolize muscle because it's looking for sugars, looking for energy elsewhere. Great. Any other questions? Yep, 3 to 5 days. Still lost what? That's awesome. 50 pounds. Get Shakeology. Can I get the 21-day fix? You sure can, Sarah. That'd be great. Now, if you do already have Shakeology and you are looking to potentially get the 21-day fix stuff without it, you might be, it depends on where you are at with your bag. It's the best deal to actually bundle price it together because you know the price of your Shakeology because when you get it. So if you're at like towards the end of your bag, you could actually cancel that current auto ship and then get a new auto ship set up with that with the bundle, and you get the bundle price. So it ultimately saves you about $54. Over 54 to $60 somewhere around that area. So that'd be great. And you can just check with your coach on that. Good. Great. Any other questions, guys? And we'll sign it off. All right. Thank you so much for being on this call. Thanks so much for being part of our group, particularly the Pirate Challenge. We're looking next month. And maybe, you know what, before I leave you, I would love to get your input real fast on this. Next month, we're looking at doing a similar free challenge, but we'd like to base it a little bit more about the nutritional side of things. So we might do it like kind of clean eating meets a little bit with some exercise that mixes with it. Would that be helpful to you? Where we would provide like some recipes ahead of time. There'd be specific recipe guides where you can, and keeping in mind families, particularly in this, and also speed and efficiency of making sure you're getting good quality foods for your family that are family friendly. So it's not just like, hey, I'm going to eat wheatgrass. And your family's like, what, mom? What, dad? Come on. So we're thinking maybe something to that effect. And then we'd still have a little bit of this. Absolutely. So no problem, guys. We're grateful that you've been part of this. We're going to share this webinar in the group, just so you know. So if you'd like to, if you want to tag somebody, or if one of your friends are in that, yes, oh yum, wheatgrass. But if you'd like to have to share that with somebody, and it also can be with outside of the group because the link will work outside. And just so you know, we'll be providing a full playlist of all the videos from the Pirate Challenge that you can do for many, many days and years to come. So provide that at the end of the challenge. So thanks, guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you in the group. Arr.